Okay, what is list hygiene? Um, Let me put it in layman. You have following up for example, like in Hussein's case, he wants to grow his list, right? And in Zach's case, what is list hygiene? So now you would have a list of email addresses, let's say inside your ESP database, okay? And then you start sending emails. So what you have is you have a certain percentage of your list who will engage with your email. Obviously, a certain percentage, if they engage, they will click, right? And some of them will become customers. Then you have the others, right? Let's say, let's do this, who do not open your email, right? But they didn't unsubscribe, they just don't open your emails. Or the other one is they open but did not click, okay? Well, when they open an email and did not click, that's fine. Probably the content you have or the CTA you have may not be strong enough, or it's not convincing enough for them to click to move on to to whatever content you want to share with them. That's fine. But if you want to address, but what I want to focus on is to address those who did not open. All right. Now, in your ESP, and a good thing why you should use an ESP instead of just sending broadcast email, let's say through your Gmail and all those things, is because ESPs allows you to monitor, X number of days or months where, there are certain group of subscribers, for example, this group, who did not open your emails for 30, 45, or 60 days or even 90 days. Okay. Now, these are the group of people. So depending on your preference, normally it's set at 60, 30, 45 days. Okay, 30, 45, 60, or 90 days, depending on your tolerance. You may want to then every 60 days or every 30 days, clean up or remove the subscribers who have not opened your emails, right? Now, if you send emails on a daily basis, 30 days will be pretty much that soft spot. 30 days to 45 days will be a nice soft spot for you to pretty much decide, if you send daily and they don't even open one email over the last 30 or 45 days, very likely that, they are not interested in your content, all right? Or basically they sign up for something and that's all they want and they're not interested in the rest of it. So it is advisable for you to then remove or clean up this list, right? So now this is what you call list hygiene. You constantly need to manage or maintain your list to make sure that those who are active are the ones that you want to keep and continue to send to them, because it will affect this what you call a deliverability. Okay, let me see whether I can spell this on Bility. There you go. Okay. Anyway, I got it wrong. Lity, right? Because when you're sending emails out and to people who are engaged, that's great. But if you're sending emails to people who don't engage, okay, let me try this drawing, right? Then the ESPs will basically mark you as, potentially a spammer because you're sending to people who don't interact. So that would affect your deliverability. That will affect your sending domain reputation, for example. And before you know it, most of your emails or a large part of your emails will be ended up in spam or junk folder. All right, because you're deemed to have a bad reputation. So by virtue of you removing this group who did not open, you actually fix this area. Okay, so this is what generally you call list hygiene. Obviously there are other tactics, for example, that you clean your list using, tools like email validation list, for example, or so-called the services that actually validates those emails, whether they are active or whether they are basically, some of them may have just typed in the wrong address, right? For example, gmail.com without an L, for example. It's not intentional, it's a genuine mistake, but, when you put through this list to clean up, then all this will be surfaced and you can actually remove them or either basically update the email so that the correct one goes in, and then you can continue to send, right? So having a list hygiene and basically is primarily to help you make sure that your email deliverability remains high and you're sending emails to people who really want to receive and read and interact with your emails. All right. That's at the very core, that's as simple as it is. Okay. Yeah, let me see. Are there any online tools or sites you recommend to clean up your used to use 1 years ago? Totally forgot. There are a few. I personally use this list. I can't remember the name. Okay, let me see. What you want to do is, let me see. Let me find the. Okay, you can try, for example, services like Zero Bounce. Okay, or you just do a Google search for clean email list cleaning or email list validation, right? This is a keyword. Okay, let me write this on. Okay, so you can try. I'm not affiliated with them. I just basically found them online. Zerobounce.net. All right. So if you want, you can just basically look for this keyword, email list validation, or all right. So generally, two keywords would allow you to see a huge list of basically providers that's available. Okay, where's my StreamYard? Okay, there you go. All right, and basically you then decide based on the rate they charge. Some are as low as 0.002 cent per email address and all those things. The good thing about doing this, especially if you're starting new, when you're starting your new ESPs and you say, hey, I've gathered a long list of email addresses and I want to start sending, don't do that first. Put it through a list cleaning service like this, and then to make sure that those only valid emails go into your list before you send, right? So that's the first thing. And that's what normally I do with my clients. Before we actually set up or start sending emails, the first thing first is we actually clean up the list first, put it through a service like this before we upload them and to send. All right. So you want to study it right so that when you build momentum and sending up, and it becomes a lot more easier. Then obviously the other tactics like double opt-ins to make sure that the person who who gives you their email address is actually right, because they have to click the second email in order to be accepted inside. So those are the tactics that's available that you can deploy to make sure that end of the day only valid emails enter your list, right? So, Zach, I hope that I've answered your questions. Let me see. I don't have your name, so okay. Anyways, I need tools. What else do I do? Just to clean up fake, non-active. Yes, yes. Right. So a tool like this, email list validation. These are basically tools that's available that you can do. Yes, email validation do basically just to do spring cleaning. Right. You should. Every 6 months, clean it up, right? Sometimes you miss, sometimes when you're sending, if you don't, especially if you don't turn on double opt-ins, you will find a situation like this, okay? Or maybe they've moved on, right? Maybe the email no longer in use. That's fine, okay? You are most welcome. I don't know your name. I'm not going to go to Facebook. I hope, I've answered your questions. Jeremy, what is ESP? Is this referring to platforms like, yes, Jeremy, ESP stands for email service provider, and or email marketing services or email marketing platforms. Basically, yes, Aweber, MailerLite, MailChimp, that's what you call ESPs, right, Jeremy? Oh, it's Chiwai. Okay, cool. Sorry, I don't know why you don't show up, but anyways. So, Zach, I hope I've answered your questions in a very simplistic way. But generally, emails are simple. It's not complicated. It's basically thinking as a channel which you use to genuinely communicate with your users, with your community. That's all. And if you do it right, the rest of the tactics are quite straightforward. Okay. Hi, and thanks for watching. If you need my help to set up your email marketing engine for your business, just click on the link here and you see a list of services that will help you grow your leads and sales
and also increase your profits through emails. I'm looking forward to working with you soon.